Hi church family, my name is Candice if we haven't met before, and I want to say welcome to today's service. It's only through God's providence that we're able to meet in person and online. So thanks be to God that we can gather together today to worship Him. So before we get into the major announcements, which is around Easter, I just want to draw your attention to 3 highlights. So RUC kids are coming back. They've had their recess time during school holiday. So parents, please drop off your kids at the 10 a.m. service on Sunday, the 10th of April. And please could you come a little bit earlier so that you can check your kids in and be able to join our worship service on time. And then another announcement is the Scratchpad podcast. They're releasing a special episode looking at the gospel culture series with Richard and a few of the other pastors that presented teachings during this series. And so they're looking at mistakes that they made during the gospel culture series. It's going to be really awesome behind the scenes on making this teaching series. So please make sure that you check that out. Keep your eyes on the airwaves. And then lastly, Red Frogs, it's a ministry really close to my heart. We have a team going to serve down at the Splashy Fen Festival. It's over the Easter weekend. So if you are a young person and you have a heart to safeguard and serve a generation of young people, then this ministry is for you. If you're free over the Easter weekend, you're keen to get involved, please contact me. My details are on the screen because we really need volunteers. And then to our big Easter announcement. So it's around the corner and our Easter journey starts next week, Sunday, the 10th of April at Palm Sunday. For Palm Sunday, we want to help create an environment and a space for this Sunday just to get our hearts and minds ready for Easter. And so we want to put palms all out outside of the auditorium and in the children's ministry, but we need your help. So if you have a palm tree in your back garden, you can easily get to some of the leaves, please will you consider cutting down a few leaves and dropping them off at Rosebank in that week, so next week or on Friday the 8th of April, so that we can display it and just ready ourselves for Palm Sunday. And then our teaching series or our series during the Easter weekend is looking at gospel images. And so these are often background symbols that actually, bringing them to the foreground, play a significant role in the essential story of Easter and the gospel story. And so we're starting on Thursday for a reflective and worshipful service, 7 p.m. in our auditorium. It'll also be streamed live to YouTube. Then we're coming back on Good Friday for a service at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. The 8 a.m. will be streamed. And then Saturday, it's often a day that is overlooked, but we really want to emphasize that this is a crucial day. The disciples, they were feeling disappointed, full of fear, possibly even disillusioned. And these are feelings that we deal with in our everyday lives. And so we want to encourage you to come to the chapel from 8 until 2 p.m., 8 a.m., 2 p.m., to just pray together, to be in this reflective space. There'll be devotional guides, tea and coffee as always. So please consider to join us on Saturday. And then Sunday, we're starting off Easter Sunday strong with a 6 a.m. outdoor service in our amphitheater for our sunrise service. And then we have our 2 Easter services Sunday at 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. The 8 a.m. will of course be streamed to YouTube. So we really hope that you're going to be able to join us over this time. Now, before we finish the announcements, I just want to cross over to Bruce Fannin, our treasurer, for a quarterly financial update.
Good day, church. For those who haven't met me or haven't seen me, my name is Bruce Fannin. I'm the treasurer of Rosebank Union Church. You'll know that when we had our AGM earlier on earlier this month, I did mention I gave you an update on the 2022 financial statements, the offerings and collections that we've received for the period since the 1st of January. And I mentioned at that time that we would give you a bit of a feedback in terms of the results for the first quarter of the 2022 year. And so that's really what I'm going to do now. So there is a very high-level summarized results that will come up on the screen, and you can have a look at that. So these results, obviously we haven't quite finished the month for March. So the offerings that you see there up until the end of March is just short of just about 1.6 million, which is slightly up, encouragingly so, from the offerings that we received in January and February. Unfortunately, it still means that we are showing a deficit for the month. and that we just need to pray for and ask that people consider their offerings to the church as well. So the operating expenses that you can see there for the first quarter, one of the ramifications of having a lower level of offerings and tithes is that we've had to pare back on some of our operating expenses, some of the maintenance costs and other such items we've had to reduce, and unless the income does start to flow, we'll probably find that we're going to have to continue to do that for the next few months. One of the items that I did mention at the AGM was that we were going to cut back on some of the plans for our capital expenditure, which was done, and so that has happened. During the month of March, we've put on hold for the moment some of the plans we had for the exchange and other buildings around, or other areas relating to the youth and the Sunday school and the Next Gen ministries. I think what we're finding as we go through the year, and if you compare the figures from last year, you'll see that we're like 2.9 million down on offerings, but our expenses have also ramped up a little bit. And you will recall that obviously last year we were under lockdown in many respects, and so some of the ministry-related costs were down as well. But we're finding that as the church returns to a level of normality, there are costs beginning to escalate. For example, electricity, the use of the halls, the use of the church, and the fact that we are meeting 3 times a week certainly does add some costs to operating expenses. So I'm not going to say too much about the figures. I think they're there for you to see. Our budget, as you can see, is basically a break even, which is what we do, the income equal to the expenses. You'll see that on budget we're about 1.4 million rand down for the first 3 months. So I would just ask that you prayerfully consider either once-off, largish, if you can, donations, but also just for those people that give smaller amounts on a monthly basis, to consider whether you would like to increase that so that we don't have to consider reducing some of our operating costs and certainly some of our ministries. So that's all really for me for now. I look forward to the next few months to see how the income and the offerings come in, and I would ask that you just enjoy the rest of the service. Good day.